Hello Year 7 and Year 8. Here is a quick iPad tutorial to explain how to make the poster we need for our superhero logo. First things first, before we make the poster, we're going to look in Shaper. Everybody should be aware of this, but you need to create a capture or a rendered image of your logo in Shaper. Click on Visualizer. You've got materials you can apply. In environment, make sure, so next to materials there's environment, make sure you click transparent. Very important that you turn ground plane off. If you don't do that, when you put your logo in your poster, you'll have a weird background, you'll have like a weird shadow behind it, which is no good. Alrighty. So we've clicked capture and we've got a capture of our superhero logo. Fantastic. Now we go to Photoshop. So this is what your poster should look like eventually. The logo is the focal point of the poster. The logo should be the largest thing. Your next most important thing is your typography, or the name of your poster. The typography should be exciting. You should choose colors that match the type of superhero you're creating for. You should choose different fonts. If there's multiple words, choose different fonts that complement each of those words. The next thing will be your background image. Again, your background image needs to complement or suit the type of superhero you've created a poster for. And the final thing is the tagline at the top of the poster, which is like your interesting little advertisement or a little caption, funny little joke about your superhero poster. It's your superhero movie. Alright, cool. Here we go. So we're going to start making our poster. Click Create New. We're going to print these posters at an A4 size. So what you want to do is look up the top, find Print A4. Then click Create. This is what it will look like. You'll have a totally empty page. What we're going to do is, in the right hand side, click the little symbol that looks like a plus with images. Click Photos, find your logo, and you're going to put it in place. Remember, the logo is the most important thing. So it should be large and it should be in the center of the page. Alrighty, so I'm using the little arrow at the top to move the logo. If I want to change the size of the logo, I click the little symbol just below the arrow and I drag my corners. If I make a mistake, I've got in the top right hand corner, there's a little back arrow. I can click back, but yeah. Alright, so we're going to put the logo roughly in the right position. That's good. Now, our background image. To get a good background image, you could go to Google and search images on Google. However, I find that this website is better. Alright, unsplash.com. Alright, this is a free stock image website. You can find all sorts of images at very, very high resolution, right? Which is good because sometimes the images you get offline can be small and pixelated, which aren't very good for a poster. So unsplash.com is a great place to find images. My superhero character is called Solar Bear, so I'm going to search for a star. I'm going to search for a star that matches my type of hero. And you know what? I like this image here. This is dramatic. You've got that space feeling. Awesome. Click download and download the largest possible size. You can tell it's the largest because it's got the most numbers. These are pixels, right? So click on the one with the largest numbers next to it. This will not download to your photos. It will download to your files. So just keep that in mind. Once we go back to Photoshop, we're going to find that exact same symbol, the little plus symbol. Don't click on photos, click on files. And if you click recent, you should be able to find the image you downloaded. All right, do the same thing, drag, done. Alrighty, now if you look in the right hand side, you've got these little images, you've got the logo, you've got your background image. Your background image should be behind your logo, so just drag it down. Next, okay, that's cool, right? So these are called layers. We'll be using the layers quite a bit. Next thing is our text. On the left hand side, you've got a symbol that looks like a T. Click on the T and tap on your page. It'll enter this little bit of text called placeholder text. Select all of that. You're going to type the name of your character. If there's 2 words, I recommend typing 2 different lines of text. Alright, one thing you've got to be aware of when you do this is if you choose colors for your typography that are very close to your background color, that's no good, right? Because it's super difficult to read, right? So what you want is when you select your letters, you want to choose a color that really stands out against the background. So I think luckily yellow sort of suits my character and will stand out against the background. Click the little white dots button again to make your text bigger. Click the little arrow to put your text in the right spot. Alrighty. Starting to look okay, not very interesting, not very exciting. So what we're going to do, come back to the text, the T tool. We're going to select just the top layer, and we're going to find a different font for the 2 words in my superhero name. So because I've got like a sci-fi character, so I'll find a sci-fi font for Solar. Where are we? So I want like a super sci-fi futuristic looking font. I want it to be legible, so it can't be difficult to read. There we go, that's a good one, I think. Whoops, let's try that again. Why did that not work? Tap, select, click on your font, Solar. Alright, awesome. So Solar looks good. Do the same thing. Select the T tool, select the word below it, choose a different font for bear. What's a good one for bear? Bear is a strange word. I'll find a big fat font for bear. Solar, bear. Alright, there we go. Done. Alrighty. 2 different types of fonts, 2 bits of typography that match your words. I think we've talked about this before, but to get your interesting fonts, you go to Creative Cloud. In Creative Cloud, you've got your fonts. You can find, you've got all these different fonts, okay? If you select one and tap the little cloud symbol to download, that font will appear in your fonts menu, and you just got to remember the name. Okay, so that one's highlight, headlight. You know, just remember the name when you look in your fonts. Right, let's go back to our poster. Alrighty, I might move the logo up a little bit. A couple more things we can do to our typography to make it look slightly more exciting. First thing will be this. I'm going to get the T tool, select everything, right? And there's a big gap between my 2 lines of text, which I think looks odd, right? In my text menu, above the color, you've got this little thing here called 1PT, right? So let's click on this, and we're going to move this so that the fonts, the 2 lines of text are closer together, so they look like they actually belong together. They don't need to touch, but if they're, they're closer together, it looks a bit neater. Okay, done. I might do this as well. So select just the bottom word. Yep. Select just the bottom word, and I'll change my font color for just the bottom word. So I think that looks a little more interesting. Right, starting to look better. Next trick is this. So in my layers menu, I've got the background, I've got the logo, I've got the text layer. I'm going to click the little T, the little blue T in the text layer, and I'm going to click the little symbol that looks like a plus symbol. Right, what that's done is just made a perfectly, a copy of my layers, right? So I've got a layer here, and I've got a layer here. Okay, I'm going to use the arrow to move them away. Now I'm going to click the back layer. I'm going to get the T tool. I'm going to select all my words. And this time if I choose a color, maybe we'll choose a blue color. Click done. Done. So one layer is all blue now. One layer is the two different colors. If I then use the arrow to move the back layer on top, I get a cool drop shadow effect like this. Alright, so that's looking better now. Next thing I'm going to do, click the little T symbol again, and I'm going to click the little symbol that looks like a plus symbol. I'm going to click 2 layers at once. I'll make this slightly bigger. Right, and I'm going to go back, not the arrow, below the arrow. I've got skew. I can now skew my text, make it look a bit more comic booky. Put it on a slant like that. I think that looks a little bit better. Alrighty, I'll move it again just a little bit. Okay, deselect. Alright, it's starting to look good, it's starting to look like a superhero design. Last thing. Finally, grab the T tool again. Tap up the top. Type my slogan for my poster. What's a good bear theme? What's a good bear bun? Justice is a bear. Terrible. I'll just go flame on. Classic superhero phrase. Flame on. And my font for this one, I'll just choose like a normal, not overly dramatic font, because I don't want it to detract from my overall design. Alrighty. I'll make sure it says capital F. Done. Alright, so here's my design, just to explain my logic. So the logo should be the focal point, should be in the middle, should be the first thing you see. The next thing, the text, should be nice and dramatic, should capture the sort of character you're designing a poster for or a movie for. Your background image should complement the character as well. And then your final little thing, your tagline, shouldn't detract from everything. Your tagline is just the little thing added on. That's just an extra. The logo, the text are the two important things. Then the background image, then your tagline. Alrighty, that's cool. We're done. Now all we need to do is share. If you look up the top, we're not going to click share. We're going to click the little symbol that looks like an arrow pointing upwards next to share. Okay, not share, the arrow pointing upwards. Publish and export. Make sure you select PNG. Make sure you select medium. Click export. Alrighty, I need more space, but you click export. It does its thing. What that will do is mash all your layers together and save it in a format that you can upload to the SharePoint, that you can upload to the OneNote, and that you can put in your submission document. Okay, and once that's actually exported, it will appear in your photos. Alrighty, yeah, it'll appear in your photos and it should be good to go. Alrighty, hopefully that makes